I have a strong opinion that this secondary so-called house battery that powers radio and other stuff in my board is damaged, and I decided to research the subject more deep. The battery you have seen there is that one, exactly the same one, and the guy on the other side of the screen was stupid one to use that kind of starter battery, flooded acid, lead acid batteries for a long time to power electronics like fridges and radio in the board. You should not do this. You should not deeply discharge this. And this stupid guy finally decided, let's go deep to research this subject. And now I'm presenting you very useful information. I hope it will. And let's start from things that are written on the battery, but not on this one, but on another one. Guys, of course I know about lithium, but I leave this subject for you for comments. Here we have Optima battery, BlueTop Optima. The difference from Varta that it's not flooded, so it has mats and not flat but spiral mats that are okay guys, well, I don't go deep in details about different kinds of batteries. I will put a link from Varta, by the way, where the subject about different types of lead batteries are covered very well. So I recommend you to watch this, and you will understand a lot from just a short and quite nice video. But here we start directly talk about these things: C20 55 amperes hours, C5 15 amperes hours, and one another number that I will show you soon in the documentation. And guys, well, Optima, I think I shouldn't explain you what is Optima. I just mentioned that when I was young, maybe 30 years younger, maybe more, I don't remember, I had a Hyundai that I brought from the US. It was a taxi car with the old red Optima battery that I've been using for several years, maybe about 10 years. The old battery and 10 years more. So yeah, now they do this in Mexico. Probably the quality is not good anymore, but it's still better than any other battery, I believe. So stop advertising, they don't pay me for this. Let's talk about these numbers. Another number is that one from the data sheet for this battery. Reserve capacity at 25 amps, 120 minutes. So these three numbers we will discuss now. So guys, look at this: C20 55 amperes per hour. What does it mean? It means that 20 and 5, it's about hours, and you divide 55 rated amperes hours by 20 hours and you get this current. It means that when you discharge the battery by this current, 2.75 amperes, for 20 hours, you will get 55 amperes hours from the battery before, that's the most important, the cut-off voltage, before the voltage that you measure on the terminals of the battery will be 10.5. This is by the standard accepted is the minimum voltage, like zero capacity, let's say, formally zero capacity voltage. I'm trying to explain it simple, and experts will come in comments and probably will do better comments than my video. So 10.5 here. In the standard we can see these things about 20 hours, about all this stuff. We will get back to reserve capacity later. So 10.5, it means 1.75 volts per one cell, 6 cells in the 12 volts battery. So 1.75 volts per cell is the minimum. So, and it's like zero capacity formally. Yeah. So, and when you have C5 rating, it means that 5 hours, and C5 rating was 15 amperes hours there on the battery. You have seen it. So 50 divided by 5, we have 10 amperes. When we discharge the battery 10 amperes for 5 hours, we receive 50 amperes hours. More current, less capacity it's provide you. Yeah. Simplify. I simplify these things. So it should be quite simple to understand this things, and they are also in the standard about how to test the battery. So, and let's talk now more about 10.05, which is accepted as zero capacity of the battery. Let's talk more about this now. So guys, now let's try to understand what means zero capacity and what means zero. I'm trying to show zero. And what means 50% of capacity. Why 50? So it is decided that you should not discharge this kind of this kind of battery less than 50% of their capacity. You should not discharge this, probably even 30%. I'm not sure, but this one that is designed for a kind of deep discharge, but not deeper than 50%. It's not a standard, it's just like a kind of accepted, I don't know how to say, but okay, you got the point. 100% capacity, what is this? 55? Well, 55 when we talk about this current, 50 when we talk about this current. What is zero? Zero when we have 10.5 volts. And what is 50 then? How many volts? We don't know actually. So, and it's when this kind of equipment, battery monitoring, comes handy to calculate how many amperes hours we consumed from the battery, to understand when we reach the 50% point and stop discharging this. Yeah. So I will get back to this later, and we will actually test what has happened with the battery. That one that is in my board. But now I hope you understand. So zero, formally zero is that one voltage. 100% is either this capacity or this one, and 50 is half of that capacity, and we don't know what voltage will be under the load. Usually we don't know. So before I get back to this, let's talk about this one. So guys, this number, reserve capacity at 25 amperes. And now we look at the standard. We discussed this C20 rating. It's here. So in this 712, capacity of the starter battery is defined at the temperature 25 Celsius plus minus 2 Celsius as, and we discussed this stuff about 20 hours until we reach 10.5, but then another option, the nominal reserve capacity, RCN, is the period of time in minutes for which a battery can maintain a discharge current of 25 amperes, to a cutoff voltage of 10.5. Again, 10.5 as a 0 point, but it's like another way how to calculate the capacity of the battery, which is called in that case reserve capacity for a certain period of time. But when you calculate this to amperes hours, you have more or less the same, similar to these numbers, but it's just another method of testing the battery. Yeah, I hope you got the point. So let's go on the next. And the next step is actually to test the battery that is failed in my board using one of this approach, the C20 or reserve capacity with 25 amperes, using the right equipment. And I actually will build this equipment myself based on this shunt and some other stuff that you see here. I have some draw. Oh no, let's forget about this draw. No. So, and guys, I don't use script for my videos, so I don't know yet what I will show you. It will take a few more days before I build it, but the interesting point for you that you will see it right now. I finally designed this rig, and you can see I am actually testing the battery. But guys, I decided first to check it on that battery, and when I started this test, a lot of things come up on the surface. It was fully discharged by this load. I will get back to this soon. So I tested this charger for its ability to charge, totally discharge battery, etc., etc. So about 5 episodes or even more coming. Subscribe if you are not yet subscribed. But I will make this video more or less logical. We will test Varta, and I will mention about the load. If we speak about designing a rig or equipment, or buying equipment for testing batteries according to the standard, the real true tests, and we speak about the cost, then we can say that this is the most costly component, because this all stuff you can build as you wish without all this fashion. Is it fashion? I don't know. So that's the most important part. And as for the load, I have DC electronical load, so I can set the constant current and discharge with the current I need. It's very convenient things, but it happened that I cannot actually test with 25 amperes here, despite it says 30 amperes. Details will go in next videos also about it, so subscribe. And yeah, so we will test with C20, and Varta we will test with C20. But what I want to say that, of course, I have this one. You are not necessarily need this kind of equipment. You can use something else for the constant load or resistance in your case. And in that case, this rig for test according to the standard will cost you only basically this shunt. And guys, while I was preparing to test this battery, I got an alarm, low voltage alarm from the shunt, not this one, but that is there. So I will cover this shunt feature, this rig feature in the future episode, and we will see a lot of these charts there. So it's the soft of the shunt, but I will tell you now, so why it's so convenient to have this solution for measurements for testing, because you have full history about what was happening with the battery during charging and discharging here in trance. That's the best feature of this Victron app. So you know, they have this app for mobile, or you can use this on the tablet PC. By the way, this tablet I will also review later on my channel. So and look what was here. The previous history doesn't matter probably much. Then I charged this, so look, 7 June, and this is on the storage, in the storage mode. It's sometimes continue charging this, you know, the storage mode. Okay, so till 12 June, and then I disconnected. So, and this is the voltage we see. You can see June 15, 16, so I disconnected from the charging, and we don't have any consumers there in the board except for the shunt itself, but it doesn't count. So, and then you can see for how long, 20 June, at some moment here, so let's say June 9 p.m. and then we have this big drop. It's around next day 7 a.m. So it happened quickly and immediately at some point in the night. We got this 10.44, and we still have like 1% state of charge. Just for the battery that sits there without any consumption. Not this shunt, the shunt in the board. So not this battery, the battery in the board. But we will test a lot of these things in the next episode with that setup. But here you can see the battery is dead. I'm not exactly know the theory behind this stuff, why like that immediately, what is happening there, provided that there is no any controllers that shut off something. But we know that the standard says that 10.5 or 1.75 per cell and 6 cells is the minimum point till what we need to test the battery. So I don't think I need to show you the previous history. Yeah, it wasn't good for that battery. So finally we are ready to test, but I think, yeah, but okay, let's see. And it is expected that the charging of that battery didn't take any time, but just the minimum 30 minutes. As I understand, it is the minimum that is configured within inside this charger, Victron charger, so it didn't get anything, just few amps hours. 2 or 3 hours after the charging, I don't want to wait more. The battery is 60 amperes hours, and we will test this by C20 method from the standard. So means the current is 3 amperes. So it's set here. I will start it, and the test will begin at about 2:11 p.m. And so we are discharging this with the constant 3 amperes current, and we are waiting for 10.5 on the terminals of the battery. So we will see it here. After a voltage drop, we have a little bit less voltage here. And guys, I didn't find in the menu of my Siglant the ability to set a low voltage threshold so that we will cut the load. Probably I need to update it. I bought it many years ago, so, and never updated. I've been using this for small currents, so probably I will miss this point, but we will then go to the shunt and we'll see it there in trends. And by the way, I set the shunt for the right capacity, original capacity of the battery, which is 60 amperes hours, and I set here discharge flow threshold 60 because it was 50, and in the future episode you will see I confused because here was 50 and I also set alarm to 50, and when I was in that menu of the shunt, I wasn't able to understand about remaining time. Is it based on the alarm settings or on the discharge flow settings? When it shows 0, is it because of the 50 alarm threshold or 50 discharge flow? That's why I have them different now, and we will probably see. So we are just waiting. I think it will shut off now because you can see how quickly the voltage drops, and we consumed only 2 amperes hours. Yeah, not even 1 hour. For 1 hour with current 3 amperes, you understand it would be 3 amperes hours. Yeah, it will definitely now will die. Yeah, okay, we are dead. Low voltage alarm here. It doesn't make sense to discharge any further, and actually doesn't even make sense to check anything here. Let's just make a conclusion and discuss what we are going to test in the next parts. Okay, I will show you briefly this chart. In my introduction to this video series, I demonstrated the screen of this shunt, but nothing so interested here. We've got this voltage drop quite quickly, and state of the charge is almost untouched. And a lot of questions raised from this test, from this fact, for example, about how to use this battery monitor, and can I rely on this, especially with old batteries. We are going to test a lot of these things in the following parts. There will be a battery that will not die that soon, 75 amperes hours, and we will get let's say, for example, here it would consume 3 amperes for 10 hours, then it would be 30 amperes hours battery, yeah, still not 60. So how then I can use this monitor, how can I rely on this, etc, etc. Different questions. If you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to see them. And I think here I demonstrated you, at least I attempted, well, I demonstrated here how to test with the standard. And let's discuss things in the comments and in the following parts. Remember to like. Bye.